I'm an Immortal/Radiant Killjoy main, and I'm going to show you everything you need to know about Killjoy on the map Bind. I'm going to be showing you lineups, setups, how to attack the bomb site swarm attacking lineups, post-plant lineups. Everything you need to know about Killjoy will be in this video here. This is one of the biggest things you can do as a Killjoy player to help your team. You back yourself into this corner, and now you pick how you want to execute this, right? So I'm going to go for this one right here. So I'm going to go for this toss right here, and then this toss right here, and then you come out hookah with your rifle. Pop this one, pop that one. Now the person's going to have to swing outside this tube and from behind the tube, because the swarms land inside the tube completely or behind the tube completely. These are like Killjoy execute swarms that I like to call them, to help clear corners as you push a bomb site. This is how you take your Killjoy gameplay to the next level. So if you're going to take one thing away from this video, make sure it's this. Alright, so when it comes to setups, this is one of my favorite ones here. You toss a swarm on this crack right here. You come out a little bit, toss another swarm here. You put your turret a little bit out from this corner here, so it spots out hookah perfectly. So if there's a smoke here, the turret will not start shooting them until they jump out. So when they jump out, the turret will shoot them, pop both of these swarms. This person will be completely obliterated. Or you can go for the other option, which is you play right here. There's no smoke in hookah. Turret pops. Hit a swing on this person, try to get damage or try to get a pick. Then now you wait for them to jump out, pop both of these swarms, and you can obliterate this person. The only counter for this one is a raise throwing nades / satchels underneath there, or a raise and jet satcheling and dashing out. But once they start doing that, then you can play the retake setup. And the retake setup is one as follows like this. First thing you want to do is come over here, line your crosshair up with this right here. Pull out a swarm, aim about right here, and give it a right click. I'll throw a few of these so you can see what they do. So the first setup is this one. You put the swarm up there, put the turret here, put in an alarm bot in the tube, and then a swarm right behind this box right here. So it'll look like this. So they're gonna start pushing the site. They'll get distracted by the turret. The alarm bot will pop when they start heading towards in the tube, because in the tube is always where people go. This is the first thing they clear. They run in here. First thing they play a post plant is in this tube. So the alarm bot will pop. You pop one of these swarms out here, and you pop this swarm here. Now this person can't be in the tube anywhere, and they can't be holding this angle on you from CT. So this spot perfectly allows you to retake the bomb site, and it flushes everyone out of the tube, so you no longer have to clear that angle. This swarm is also phenomenal for just stopping plants, because look at this. They can't plant default here, they can't plant anywhere here or down here. And as a bonus, this even clears this back corner in a retake situation. The person can't sit in this corner, they'd have to swing and fight you. So this will clear out this corner as well. There's so many different ways you can play that swarm. You can play it for when a jet dash is on top of the tube, you pop it, or a raise satchel on tube. There's so many different ways you can use that swarm, and it's so hard for the enemies to find. It's a very new swarm that not a lot of people know about, so it'll be a very hard time finding it. That swarm is made by Evux. The link to his stuff will be in the description below. So if they're starting to come long a lot and you want to switch up your setup to run something different on long, you put your turret as deep in this corner as you can, so it's hard for them to shoot it. They can't just clear it by peeking over here. So what I would do is I'd put my alarm bot right up against the door here, toss a swarm about here so it clears this whole back area. Then you toss a swarm right here against the doorway, making it hard for them to see. So they step out, turret pops them, both of these swarms. This one wields a lot less kills than any of my other setups, but this is what you do to put a damper on them hard pushing long. Or you can put one swarm over here with an alarm bot, just so you can delay the push from one side and fight the other side, or do a bunch of swarms under hookah and then focus on the long people. Or you can just swing off of the swarms by himself, start shooting the people inside the swarms. So you can do either way you want to do it, because using Killjoy swarms to isolate and pick off players on an execute is one of the smartest ways you can run it. The best setups for Killjoy on the A site is this one as follows. Put the alarm bot here, put a swarm on this shadow here, and you want to toss a swarm anywhere up here on this box. All right, then you play inside U-Haul with your turret anywhere up against this back wall. It doesn't really matter. So everyone knows the breach flash play, where you flash this corner here and then you flash to this wall here, right? And this is used a lot in high elo, and it's like very hard to stop to get U-Call control instantly. Well, this swarm setup allows you to hold it. So you just sit right here. The second the alarm bar goes off, or you know a jet's dashing, or you're flash out of your mind, you pop both of these swarms, and this person has absolutely nowhere to go. And it'll even stop people over in this little corner here. So it'll basically completely obliterate one person. I've gotten so many picks with this swarm without even having to shoot my gun. Now, once you use the swarm and the alarm bot are popped, now you have your turret here to back you up. So now someone's throwing a flash at you, someone's trying to push you. Now you have this turret to help you fight the incoming people after that person just died, or after you just fought that person, or let's say a raid throws their nade on this utility pile. What you do is then you have your turret to back you up, basically. only big counter to this is just a brimstone ult where it'll break everything, or a raisin, it'll break everything, and in which that case you switch up your setup. So another setup I like to use is I would put the alarm bot back more like this. I'd put a swarm here, and then I'd back up and put another swarm about here. So alarm bot pops. So basically the goal for this is to either force them to TP or do a bunch of damage when they head out towards site. So if you put the alarm bot up close, they just get hit by it instantly and they back up and it does nothing. Putting the alarm bot more back allows them to have to either walk through it or back through a swarm, because you got to let them get into the middle of the swarm. A lot of people will just alarm bot here, swarm here. They'll do this, pop, and then they just back up. You get 0 value. You have to be smart with how you play your utility, and with that you can put a turret right here, or you can play the U-Haul angle with your turret as well and keep protection there.
Recalling my bot.
I've not had very many successful stories when it comes to a setup like over here, but outside showers. I would not really play Killjoy's util outside showers as it's not optimal, but if you're going to do it, put your alarm bot and your swarm on this side here. The only issue is they can basically clear this turret. If they have a vandal, they'll be able to shoot it through the wall, but alarm bot pops, turret shoots them. You can do good damage with this, but it's more of a delay tactic and an info tactic than it is to like slay kids out like the other setups have been. Or you can just do any of the classic setups like this. Just play your turret anywhere, up on this box, up on here. The second turrets you swing and you just try to get a pick. Those are always good options if they're constantly breaking your till or finding out. But the key is switch bomb sites constantly and switch your setups constantly. Don't continue to run the same thing every round expecting it to work, and be creative with how you set these things up, because there's always slight variations you guys can make to my setups to make them even better. And if you do that, tag me on Twitter or TikTok or anywhere, because I'd love to see. Now let's move on to the attacking swarms with Killjoy. Here's 3 Killjoy lineups for attacking the B bomb site. What you do is you back yourself into this corner here, and there's 3 swarms. So first thing you do is you see this piece of rust right here. In between the rust and the wire, you give this one a toss. Alright, what this one does is this one lands perfectly back site. So they have almost nowhere to stand, and they are forced to swing. They can literally stand like right here, and even then you'll still be able to see them and you'll be able to catch the pick on them. Or if you're standing on that box, you'll be able to see their head over the box and you'll be able to headshot them as well. So this basically perfectly clears back sight. The next lineup I have for you guys is Killer. What you do is you line up right here. You count off the top of these fence marks right here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Then you go in between right here and a little bit up. So check out where this swarm lands. Perfectly outside the map right here, and it clears this cubby and no one can sit anywhere. Now this is banned in tournaments, so if you're a Valorant tournament player, you cannot use the one that lands outside the map. So what you want to do is you want to come over here, line up in the same spot, and go 1, 2, 3. I believe this swarm lands inside the map, so you're not breaking any tournament rules. Now they'll be able to break this one, but it still clears the cubby out and it stays in the map. If you're in comp, use the one that lands outside. If you're in a tournament, use the one that lands inside. Now this new swarm I was just showing you guys earlier is a killer swarm. So what you do is you line up, you see the swarm, like the little dot on the top of the swarm, so the right dot on the top of the right click. So what you do is you line that up right here, and you give this a toss, like right there on the corner of the building. So now this will take a couple tries to master perfectly, but it lands perfectly right here. This swarm can be used to stop defusals if you're playing hookah side. It'll stop all the post plants, but what this does in particular is it prevents the majority of the angle of this person sitting in tube. So if you throw a swarm on top of this tube, the person can crouch or be inside this tube and not take damage. All right, now the swarm that lands there, you can't be in here like at all. You can be in this very back corner, forces you to swing an angle, and you have to sit like over here, which forces you to peek. So this is how you get the rat outside the tube that you just can't deal with every round. This is how you shit on the Cypher rat or the Killjoy rat that just sits in this tube every round that just keeps destroying your team. So now you can combo these swarms together since they're all from the same spot. So you can throw one that lands cubby and on top of bin, or you can throw the one that lands on top of bin and behind the bin. So you can basically clear a bunch of corners for your team without issue. So you'd be like, Raze, I'll throw a cubby in the tube nade, you throw nade back sight. So this just clears all the angles for you and you don't have to worry about anything. So let's take a look at some post plant swarm lineups for the B bomb site. So what you want to do is just line up you line up until there's a little crack right here. You aim about right there, you give it a toss. This one will just stop the default plant, or if you want to use the more complicated lineup out there, feel free to do that. But that one's just super easy on the fly, and you can't really mess it up. Post plant swarm lineups for the B bomb site on default from long with Killjoy. You line up with this poster right here. You have to do it as best as you can because when you walk, it'll like adjust every time because it's on a slope. But what you do is the right diamond again of your throw, and you line it up right here where my crosshair is. And you just give this a toss. This will either land right here in tube, or if you move it to the right a little bit or to the left a little bit, it'll still stop this default defuse perfectly fine. To stop a defusal on default on A with Killjoy swarms, you come over here. You see this hole right here in the leaf. You aim right here, and you aim it off to the left a little bit. This swarm is made by Evux and Keo, so this lands perfectly default. The only reason I say don't use the whole lineup, like where you first aim your crosshair, because it lands a little bit to the right. This one covers basically the middle plant, because a lot less people plant here or here. They kind of just plant in the middle, so that swarm lands perfectly for that. So let's say you're shower side and you need to stop a defusal triple. What you do is you jump up on this box right here. You use the lineup in between your swarm and alarm bot, that little line, and you line it up in the bottom left-hand corner of this and give it a toss. This will land perfectly triple box, and it'll basically disallow them from defusing the bomb. Now, when I play Killjoy, I would typically suggest you play in the bomb site with your team, use your turret, use your alarm bot to your advantage. But if it comes to a situation where you need to use your lineups, go for it. I'm just saying play on site with your teammates. Don't bait them for a lineup, because if it's a 1v3 situation with 40 seconds left, you're just gonna have your swarms aren't gonna do anything. Play off your swarms, play with your swarms. Make sure your teammates are in sync with that idea instead of you just baiting your team. Be like, I can delay the bomb 10 seconds and then we can peek, or just something like that, just so you're not baiting your teammates when they're all playing in site, all fighting and dying and not getting traded because you're not there while you're out on the site playing lineups. But these are the lineups I would use because this will extremely help you win rounds. But don't bait your teammates, to let them know what you're going to be doing before you do it. Best ultimate locations on this map for attacking is if you can get U-Haul control while you attack, you just toss your ult in this corner right here. Then you come over here and you play this angle. So they're going to start swinging, looking to the right, looking for you and your ult. And then you swing, you either bait your ult in order to get a frag, or you kill them right as they're turning their head towards the ult and starting to shoot it, so then you can kill them. But if you can't get in the bomb site and you want to use your ult for taking the bomb site, your best bet is over here in showers. It can't be shot through this wall right here. So basically you have to look at it like this. You can't really pin through this box and the wall. You can only pin it just through the box. So like, look, for example, it's not going to come through the wall. So you just look at the map and you line yourself up with these boxes. Now this can easily be destroyed by a raise nade or raise ult, but this covers most of the bomb site. It'll put a bunch of pressure on them, and they can only stand here or heaven. So if you have a smoke up, you can pretty much get the plant down for free. So for ulting at B long, some people will tell you to put it in this corner here. I wouldn't do that, because what happens then is someone will just play this angle right here on you, and they'll just shit on your team as you try to, like, as you guys try to come in. So the angle I would put my ult is have either a jet or a phoenix or someone put a piece of util out to help you cross. Smoke, a wall, a flash, just something to help you make this cross to this corner. Now this can be raise ulted, Sova ulted, and everything. There's no like special ult spots on this map per se. I'm just showing you guys the ones that cover the most ground and are the most productive. So this will cover the entire bomb site, making them have to completely step off the bomb site. And you can also use this ult to take a bit of elbow control as well, because they have to be all the way back here, so you can get pretty pushed up in elbow, like play this angle right here before they know you're there. So those are the best ulti spots. There's no real good way to ult from hookah. If you ult right here, it doesn't really cover the whole bomb site, and it still creates that issue where they can stand in a corner on the back of the site. And this one they can pin through the box, so you'd have to put it on the lower side of it, being even less productive. There's no really good way to ult from hookah. So in terms of Killjoy and ulting on this map, you have to be very smart in how you use it. Use it to delay the enemies from planting, or grab the spike, or just do something to buy your teammates time to rotate or something. Give your teammates information. But the best ult for retake on the B bomb site is this one right here. And if you know, you can specifically play retake with your team. So you have this ult spot, you can have a turret set up here elbow and an alarm bot set up here elbow. Instead of having all your util up on site, you can play your util in elbow to protect them while they're pushing, so you can protect the ulti. You have the turret, alarm bot, and swarms to help you while they push in. So you just toss your turret here, put in an alarm bot a little bit more out here, then you can follow that with a swarm anywhere here. And then you can use this to fight the person trying to push and break your ulti. Now I'll show this ult spot one more time. This basically makes them fall completely out of garden all the way back here. Now they'll still be able to shoot you from this angle here, but it basically completely makes them back out. Same idea for hookah, like they can still shoot you from this back angle here, so be aware of that. So when you're doing this take, smoke both long and CT, and you might even be able to get half the defuse on the bomb if you're pretty good with it. So for retaking on the A bomb site, the best tip of advice I have for you is it's situational. All right, best ulti spot is going to be in this corner right here. This is saying that you have no idea, you got no information, none of your teammates can even get out on the site, you don't know what you're doing. Use this ulti here because it makes them back out. The biggest concern is that corner right there in lamps that people will sit and then they'll instantly get back lamps control. That's why I will always suggest the best ulti spot will probably be in this corner here or down here. Now this spot is also hard to get control over, and it doesn't cover the whole bomb site. There's going to be a few corners like here and over here. So the best ult spot is going to be this corner here because it covers all the ground and makes them fall completely out. Or if you get map control, you get pushed up. Like if they're in hookah and down short and showers, they're playing post plant like super deep and not fighting close in sight. This spot is good, but you have to read the situation, know if the enemies are playing close, if they're playing far. Use Sova drone, recon, get your information characters to figure it out if they're close, and then you put that ulti down if you can get close. Now they might push it, and that's why you just play like this angle here, so when they swing you're on the other side of it, so you can just completely shoot them in the back of the head when they swing this, because a lot of the time someone will just give their life to hit that ulti. So you can play to bait that person's kill off of breaking your ult, or you can get that kill before they break your ult, which will massively help your team retake the bomb site. Because if you can, this area is one of the hardest areas to clear on a retake, so having your ult just clear this whole U-Haul area up until this corner is just completely massive. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate you guys. Make sure to go check out my other social medias, TikTok, Twitter. I stream every single day on twitch.tv/CaMbCaMb from 11 a.m. to about 5 p.m. Central. So go check that out. And shout out to everyone who's helped me come up with these setups, like Evux with some of the swarms and some of the setups. Shout out to you guys, and thank you guys so much for watching the video, and expect more content like this in the future. And if you have any ideas you want to see, hey, I want to see Split, I want to see an updated version of Haven, let me know in the comments, and I got you guys.